Well, one thing's for darn sure, we certainly have a lot to choose from. Greetings fellow Vita fans, this is James with PS Vita at 2 AM, coming at you once again with another exciting video. And if you're new here and love everything PlayStation Vita, don't forget to subscribe, and make sure to leave me your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section, as well as your suggestions, because today we are going to be covering anime-based games on the PS Vita. You guys think we have maybe a couple, one or two anime-themed Vita games on the platform? I think I might be able to come up with some sort of list here. Alright, let's just be serious here. The Vita is overwhelmed with anime-based games on the platform. So I'm going to be talking about just some of those here today, including a few that I've never talked about once on this channel. So stay tuned, as in like right now, because this is the first game, Desgea 4, A Promise Revisited. I wanted to mention just real quick that this list will be in no particular order, which I always make sure to say just to cover my own butt. So we find ourselves in the Netherworld once again, a place that is filled with political strife and penguin-like creatures with souls and stuff like that, along with our dearly departed loved ones. Dang, this video is getting more and more morbid by the minute. Now the reason why I decided to go with Desgea 4, considering there are other games on the Vita, is because I felt like this one took the game a little bit further than the others did, or at least it did back in the day. And one of my favorite aspects is that when you're in battle, you'll be able to command your characters to pick up one another to create a large chain of people to use as a weapon. I remember when I first saw that, I just thought that was absolutely hilarious, but yet it did fit the tone of the game quite nicely. I mean, we have talking penguins in this game, for goodness sake. It doesn't take itself very seriously. And as you can see from this, it's a turn-based tactical strategic action game, kind of similar to the older Final Fantasy title tactic games. And what I loved about it is monsters are even able to magically merge with one another, and demons are able to use lesser creatures as weapons on the fly. And it's because of this, and I know it's going to be probably an unpopular opinion to say, I felt like this game was a tad more on the rewarding side than Final Fantasy Tactics was. I know, I'm probably very evil for saying that, and I should die 1,000 deaths, but it's truly the way I felt. And considering that the story mode for this game will take you roughly 35 plus hours depending on your skill, along with adding tons upon tons of hours of more content once you are finished with said storyline, with weapons, extra characters, missions, and stuff like that to unlock afterwards, this is certainly a tactics RPG that will keep you busy for a long time to come. Just don't step on the penguins, man. They're dudes. Anybody here ever watch the anime, The Irregular Magic High School? No? Me either. But I did find the game pretty amusing. So this is another one of those games where I'm not really familiar with the source material, and all I can just really do is base it off of the actual game itself, and ogle random anime characters, because I certainly have a lot to choose from with this. Though I should warn you real quick that this is in fact a Japanese-only release for the PS Vita. It is an action game, however, so you shouldn't have too much trouble enjoying this one. Or you can just feel free to ogle the characters right beside me. And when I say action-based game, it felt kinda weird. It seemed to be a cross between Power Stone and the Virtual On series, if you've ever experienced any of those two titles. So in this game, you play the role as well of a lot of characters actually, because there's a crap ton of them, and I guess you have to like fight other students and bad guys, and I don't have any idea what there's going on with the story here, but considering this is somewhat of an arena fighter, I don't think you really need much of a plot anyway. You just gotta kick butt and take names, all the while chewing bubblegum. And also, if we take into consideration that the storyline in this game is done mostly through a visual novel aspect, drives that point home even more. And as an arena fighter, it works well enough. Each time you finish pummeling your opponent, you'll be able to level up certain stats, earn new upgrades, so you can pummel your opponents in an even better way, I guess. And special moves are quite the cinch to pull off, mostly just coming down to one button press, so it's got that going for it. I have heard that there is an extra character and true ending to get, but I've never actually been able to get that because I have no clue on how to do it. And while this game is by no means amazing, it's kind of in the whole Madoka Magic on the PS Vita category, where it's a fun action game for what it is, but doesn't really do anything to blow away any sort of expectation. So take that for what you will. A fun little game, but nothing amazing. If you do decide to pick it up, just make sure you don't pay too much for it, which, with the way inflation is currently going, is easier said than done. Okay, so sticking here with the theme of the whole 3D action brawler, here's another one, and a game that I have yet to ever talk about on this channel, Malicious Rebirth, which is an enhanced port of the original 3D action brawler game, Malicious. Sounds quite, Malicious. Now, how to kind of categorize this game? It sort of will give you a little bit of a Monster Hunter feel, along with a little bit of Soul Sacrifice sprinkled in for good measure, but not quite as great as those two games are. In fact, I would put this kind of in the category of Dynasty Warriors. It's a sort of game that knows what it is, basically. For better or worse, am I right? A 3D action game that is fun to play so long as you do it in short bursts, because there's not a whole lot to this game. Again, much like with Dynasty Warriors, it's just mindless fun. But as I've mentioned many times in the past, I am kind of a glutton for games like these. I just like sometimes turning off my brain and just enjoying the raw action that the game provides. Not that me turning off my brain is anything rare. Oh, and the bosses in this game, they are definitely large and in charge, which is certainly a good thing because they're pretty much the only enemies that you'll be facing in this game. Yeah, if you're expecting something in the vein of Dynasty Warriors as far as like level progression goes, along with waves and waves of countless enemies to fight and subdue, I'm afraid you won't find that here. This is pretty much a Shadow of the Colossus style of formula where it's all about the boss battles. Choose a stage and you're right there at the boss. Wow, in record time too. And while I definitely did enjoy fighting these bosses, which are all about pattern memorizations and yada yada yada, which I will admit did give me a little bit of a God of War / Ninja Gaiden kind of vibe. It's pronounced Gaiden, James. However though, and this is a big however, because they are the only enemies in this game, that's why I recommend you just playing this in short bursts, because you might get a little bit tired of the formula. Or you can always just pretend that one of the bosses is somebody you hate in real life, like your manager or your supervisor. That might up the fun somewhat, I guess. It's the most interesting option, at least. Alright, so let's move on now back to the whole PS Vita import theme and talk about Super Heroin Chronicles. No, not the substance abuse thing, waifus. Or superhero female anime characters who aren't really superheroes, but they are a collaboration of crossovers from various other anime series that are all getting together to probably save the world, I'm assuming. And they're doing it a la Desgea, as in a tactical RPG. Oh, and I should mention real quick that Super Sonico is in this game. If you are in fact an anime fan or are familiar with the character, then you probably don't need any other reason to purchase this game. True confession here, it may just be the reason why I wanted it. Now, unfortunately, this is a game I can't give you a ton of information on, at least when it comes to the whole gameplay aesthetics, because although it does play like Desgea and therefore has quite a lot of menus in this, I wasn't able to get a very big hang of the actual gameplay other than like your basic attack and magic spells. There is like ways to upgrade your characters and equip them with certain things, but I just couldn't figure out the menus for this one, so I couldn't get very far, unfortunately. And Google Translate on the phone, unsurprisingly, wasn't of much help, though I did notice that the characters kept calling me Baka. I'm assuming that's a good thing, right? Now, from what I could understand, which again comes down to like your basic attack and spell, which I wasn't able to do anything else with, I did like that you got a little cutscene in between each of your attacks, especially with the special moves, and they were all very true to the characters that they represent. So yeah, a game I wish I had more information on. I'm going to be doing my best to stumble through this one, but until that time comes, it might just be an intriguing curiosity. Oh, and you should like buy it for Super Sonico too. Wow, looking back on it, I wasn't as much of a weeb as I expected I was going to be at first with a topic like this. So looking back at these titles, I guess it was kind of sort of a mixed bag. We had some really excellent ones, such as Desgea 4, and we had some that were just kind of okay, like the Irregular Magic School. And while some of these aren't the greatest titles out there for the PS Vita, I just still wanted to showcase them to you all just so you know that they exist. But what games do you feel that other people should be aware of that exist? Please write your suggestions down below, because I'd love to hear from you guys, and of course, as always, you may just see one of your picks in a future video. Extra bonus points if they feature Super Sonico. That's always a beautiful thing. Ah, see, there you go. I knew my weebness wouldn't let me down. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. This video has been brought to you in part by all of these wonderfully generous supporters who help make this content possible. So a big thank you goes out to Catherine.uk, Airkick72, McKee's Blog, Randy Ezadich, B Mystery, Zacrito, Matt Fox, Alan Iwazu, Reiko Star, Shin Snake, Neo Arashi, Milk Sama, Meshuga 360, Bushin Ryu Cat, Berserker Games, Hero Acer, BMF, Phantom XRS, Gutter Drums, Adam Sondi, Clayman Merlarky, Saul Ramirez, Hemdall Imbert, PS Vita S, VG Legends, Kyle Brooks, Richard Cruz, Jared Haddo, JR, Joseph Shavak, Kevin Enright, Silica, Jellet, Heston Joseph, Per Sterner, H-Hitter, Crazy Cat, Adam Thury, Wendy K, Michael O'Connor, Rodrigo Vera, Skullshirtugal TCG, David Ray, Dr. Super Artie, Matt Hargett, Jamie, Sabin Fire, Ricardo Martinez, Mazgus, PSP Guru, Donut Valley, Tasha Monty, Starlight Mirror, Nintendo Switch at 2 AM, Eric DeWitt, Azumara, Juan M. Hermosillo, Lacerated 87, 1488 Dental, Birds in Mystery, No Good, Rizal Pliskin, Kayonko, Aridri, Buzz Saiyan, Hector Gonzalez, Franz Hartle, and Chris Foxhound. If you would be interested in supporting the channel and gaining access to a number of perks, including having your name featured on the end credits of these videos, or if you wish to remain anonymous, that can be provided too, then make sure to check the links down in the description below. I have numerous ways for you to do this down there. Can't support in this manner? Don't worry about it. I also have some affiliate links from both Amazon and PlayAsia for anyone who is interested in purchasing something from them. Basically, the way it works is so long as you use one of those links to just access their website, then anything you purchase afterwards, a small commission will go to help support this content at no extra cost to you, the consumer. I also have channel merchandise available, and of course, as always, likes and shares can help equally as much. Oh, and just in case anybody got the wrong idea out there, just because I have a body pillow of Supersonico doesn't mean I'm addicted. But I'm addicted.